Okay. Then Green03 asked, what is your favorite dinosaur? And I've been a big fan of dinosaurs ever since I was a kid. And so my favorite is probably not one that most people would expect when somebody's answering that question. But realistically, my favorite dinosaur has been pretty much forever. The duck-billed dinosaur, the Parasaurolophus. I love the Parasaurolophus. I don't know why, with the frill and it's just a cool looking dinosaur, and it's always been one of my favorites. And obviously I love, all the originals too, the Stegosaurus and the Triceratops and T-Rex and things like that. I do have a soul. I like all those dinosaurs too, but realistically my favorite for pretty much ever has been the Parasaurolophus, the duck-billed dinosaur. So yeah, that's my favorite dino. And there we go. Hopefully I think we've got some DNA for that in the dinosaur series, so we'll probably be hatching one of those soon now that we're starting to put in exhibits and things like that in the park. I think that'll be fun. But yeah, so thank you for the question. That one came to us from Green03 again, one of his, or I guess hers. But yeah, there we go. All right, so let's see. Green03. So what is your favorite animal besides a turtle? Came from Willow Bite. And honestly, my favorite animal besides a turtle, I've got lots of favorite animals, but the next one down on the list is a dog. I love dogs so much. I've always loved dogs. I'm allergic to dogs, so never had, and so was my dad. So we never really had dogs growing up. But I've always loved dogs. Always liked dog sat and things like that. And my wife just got a golden doodle, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And he's hypoallergenic, and so that's awesome. I haven't really had a whole lot of issues with him at all, and he doesn't shed at all and things like that. So yeah, love the little guy, and I'm excited to finally, have the American dream with the wife and the dog and the house and all that. It's awesome. So yeah, so dogs are probably my next favorite. I love all kinds of animals though. One of my other favorites is used to live in Florida, and there's manatees all over the place, and for whatever reason, they're just big, slow-moving, I don't know. But they're so unique and just interesting. I love manatees, for whatever reason. I love hedgehogs. I don't know. I like cool, unique, kind of eclectic animals. And so yeah, some interesting ones, but definitely next to turtles and tortoises are dogs for sure for me. But yeah, thank you for the question, Willow. Gaming Bear asked, do you have any pets? And I absolutely do. I've got 2 pets currently. I've got at least that are with us here with me and my wife. I've got a tortoise. She is an Indian star tortoise. Her name is her internet persona is Fluffy. She is the in real life she is the reptile and I'm the mammal. Whereas here on YouTube, Fluffy is generally represented as a sheep, so I'm the reptile and she's the mammal at that point. But yeah, so Fluffy is my little tortoise, and she is about 9 years old this year. About 9 years old, 10 years old next year, feeling old. I've had her since she was a hatchling, and I got her when I was a junior in high school, I think. But yeah, so I'll probably have put up a clip or a picture or something of her there. She's a beautiful little lady, so very, very, very nice. I love that little tortoise. And then I do have, as I mentioned, the fuzzball is a golden doodle puppy that my wife and I just got earlier this spring, at the end of April, mid-end of April. Yeah, it's a great little guy. We just got him neutered last week. And so this will kind of fold into Aaron's next question. Aaron asked, how's the fuzzball doing these days? And yeah, so he just got neutered last week, so it honestly didn't really faze him a ton when he got neutered, which is kind of funny. I probably pick up this redstone. Let's see, where is it? Or not that. There we go. It really didn't faze him. We had to drop him off early in the morning, and then by the time we picked him up, so you drop him off at the vet first thing, and then they said you pick him up, later the afternoon, like 5 or so. And so that's what I did. And by that time, I think they called me when he got out of surgery just to let me know he was doing all right. I have a great vet. And so he got out around noon, I feel like, and then he was basically chilling until I picked him up around 5, which is when they told us to come, and he was pretty much back to normal at that point. I'd seen him be more lethargic after getting some of his vaccinations and stuff. Some of his puppy shots, he would like lounge around the house for like the next day and a half or something. Like those really seemed to kick him in the butt. But in terms of his neutering, he kind of bounced right back from that and really hasn't missed a stride since. So, he's not allowed to, we were trying to keep him from doing too much excessive exercise and things like that so he can heal, and he's not allowed to go swimming, which was a bit unfortunate. We went up to my wife's parents' place on Michigan. They live on a lake up there. We were hoping to, get him in the lake and things like that, and then when we picked him up, like, oh yeah, and no baths or, swimming for 2 weeks or something. We're like, no, but he's doing good. I'll probably throw a clip up here as well of him running around the backyard or something, so you guys can see that. But yeah, he's an adorable little puppy. He's getting big. He's getting real big. Probably huge since the last clip I put up. Having to pre-record so much stuff and things like that, I haven't really put a lot of those little updates and stuff in for him recently. So yeah, he's a big grown boy for sure. But yeah, he's doing good. He's finally got potty training down. He hasn't had an accident in a long time, actually. It's been a couple months, I think, since he's had any accidents in the house. He had one not too long ago, I guess, but he was sick. He couldn't help that. But yeah. So he's doing good. Just gotta get through this teething stage, and we'll be good to go. Good to go for sure. So yeah, I was thinking we're probably getting a little far out for this, but that one seems to end there. But some of these are still continuing on, so we're gonna keep going. But yeah, so he's a great little guy for sure. And if you guys want to see more updates on the pets in the future and just regular videos and stuff, and have me pop in and show you guys a clip or something, I can certainly do that. Let me know if that's something that interests you guys. But a lot of times pictures of the fuzzball and stuff, or Fluffy even, will go up on Twitter occasionally. So if you guys are interested, make sure to check out my Twitter. And you guys will see occasional updates there as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much thank you, Aaron, for that question. Then Rias Gremere again asked, if you could go, where'd it go? If you could visit any country, what country would it be? And for me, I would love to go to Italy. I've just always, I said previously race didn't really matter. But I'm Italian. My family, it comes from Italian. From Italian. My family comes from Italian. Actually a 3rd generation Italian. So my great-grandfather came over in the 20s, and then my grandfather and dad and everything were born here. But yeah, so I've always wanted to go to Italy. We still have family that are over there in Italy, and so I'd love to go over there and see. It's such a beautiful country and all that. I'd love to check that out. So yeah. If I could go to any country, it would probably be Italy at this point. Although there's lots of places my wife and I love to travel, and we got lots of things planned. We want to go hike Kilimanjaro, and we want to go to Israel and Jerusalem and things like that. And we want to go to Ireland, where she's from, and I'd love to go to Germany and just see Europe in general. And there's so many things we'd love to do. But if at the top of that list, I'd probably put Italy. So yeah. Thank you for that question, Rias. Scad then asked, Scadroll asked, what's the best holiday you've ever been on? And I had to give that some thought, because again, we love to travel. I've done a lot of great vacations, both with my family and now since I got married with my wife. And I think the best holiday is actually one that my wife and I did earlier this year. We went to Puerto Rico on a mission trip with some people from our church, and honestly, that trip was probably the perfect trip for me, because it was a mixture of helping out other people, doing some good stuff. We spent pretty much from the morning till dinner every day working on some sort of project, mission related wise, and so that was great. Just getting to help people out and do some good work. I love that, because I like doing things with my hands and things like that. It's I love helping people. That's kind of my personality. I'm always looking to please people and help people out. If I see somebody who needs something, I'm going to help them out. It's just kind of who I am. And so this was great. We, from morning till dinner, we would do some mission trip stuff. and you know, help people out with different service projects and you know, talking to them and things like that, which was awesome. But then also we got to you know, after dinner, we were in Puerto Rico, and we went and got cleaned up, and then we would, you know, go out to dinner and go down to the beaches and do some fun stuff. So that was probably the perfect kind of combination of things that I love: getting some relaxation in, spending some time in a beautiful place, but then also getting to help some people out, which is something I really love to do. So yeah, that mission trip we did this spring was probably the best holiday I've done. And I've done a lot of great holidays, but that just had a great mixture of different things, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so we got a goal, we gotta make room now. Okay, so that's second to last. So then Rob Wool, his questions keep ending up at the bottom of ending off my episodes with him. I think his was the last question I took last time too. I guess let's just get rid of some cobble here. There we go. He asks, can you tell us what a day in your life is like? All of it or just the channel aspect? And yeah, I can do that. I mentioned at the end of last episode with his question asking about, could you do a draw my life thing? And I said, you know, honestly, my life's way too boring to really make something like that entertaining, which is partially true. I don't live a really exciting life, which is partially why I do YouTube. But yeah, I mean, a day in my life, not super exciting, but you know, I get up, and I generally get up around 6:30 every day, and then I get up and I will do a little bit of, I'll do either some video editing or some episode prep, I'll do checking email, just kind of catch up on the day, and then you know, about, you know, 7 o'clock my dog starts stirring, so I've done a little bit of stuff on the computer, then I'll let him out, give him breakfast, things like that. And then I gotta get ready for work, and so I may watch some videos while I'm getting ready for work or something like that, catching up on what my friends are doing on YouTube, things like that. Generally speaking, all of my videos are scheduled these days. Used to be, I didn't know that scheduling videos was a thing you could do. It wasn't until I'd been doing YouTube for longer than I'd like to admit, I guess, before I figured out you could do that. So yeah, I mean, generally I'm usually like a week ahead of myself, so you know, a random Friday rolls around. Usually I like to have, my goal is to generally have, you know, up to the next Friday uploaded at that point, just so I've got a buffer in case things get crazy. I've got enough stuff up that I can get things figured out and then get back on track. So, you know, generally I'm not rushing to do uploads or anything like that. Usually my stuff is pre-recorded, at least up to a week, usually. Not always. Sometimes I get crazy busy and then I'm doing things day of, or usually I'm not recording day of, but sometimes I've been editing and uploading day of or whatever. So, we're full on iron 2 now. We don't need this much cobble, so we'll get the resources we need first. But yeah, so then generally I go to work sometimes, you know, like with my wife home over the summer, like I'll come home for lunch a little early because she generally goes and she's doing some stuff in the morning. She works at a horse barn near here. She loves to do horse stuff, so she does that in the mornings till, you know, about after lunch. So I come home, take the dog out, do things like that. If he wants to take a nap or, you know, whatever, I'll probably, you know, get on again, do some editing. Maybe I'll record an episode real quick, something like that. And because generally, you know, before work, or over lunch or right after work, especially during like the school year, is generally when I have time to do things with my wife home over the summer because she's a teacher. Sometimes it's harder to find times because she's around a lot more, and I don't generally record when she's around. So, but yeah, if she's not home for lunch, I'll generally record an episode real quick or something, like I'm doing right now, actually, and things like that. Some cobble here. Then I go back to work, and I do sometimes have the opportunity in today's modern workspace. You know, working from home is pretty possible for me, so sometimes I'm able to do that as long as I've got my work laptop and my phone and my internet. I can pretty much work from anywhere, but usually I'm at the office most of the time. But you know, sometimes if I've got a lot of stuff to work on, it's sometimes easier to focus when I'm home. So sometimes I'll stay home and work for a bit or whatever, and things like that. And sometimes that gives me more flexibility to do like a collaboration. I can take a break real quick and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna jump on, and this is the only time people can do things or whatever. And so I can be flexible like that, which is nice. But so yeah, I mean, generally after lunch, go back to work till I get done, and then I come home and I may get some time to do some gaming stuff after work, but generally, you know, I come home, I take the dog out, I give him dinner, we hang out with him. I do most of the cooking around here because being Italian, cooked food was always very important to my family growing up. We always put a lot of emphasis on food. Whenever we'd go on vacations and stuff, it was always like, okay, so we'd plan most of our events around where we were going to eat. Like, I mean, it was just really important to us. Whereas my wife's family grew up in, they just, you know, it was never like a priority for them. And so I've always just cared about food more. And she actually, I work a basic 8 to 5 job usually, and she's a teacher, so she's always got like grading or planning or something she's got to do after she's done. So she actually ends up being working later than me most times, and so you know, it just kind of ended up working out. You know, I cared the most about the food, and I ended up having a little bit more free time to deal with it in. So I do most of the cooking, and I actually worked in restaurants pretty much my whole professional career up until I graduated college and got a real job and things like that. I was always working in a restaurant in one form or the other. So I'm gonna head back now. But yeah, so I do most of the cooking. So generally I get home and I generally cook like every other day, and I make enough that we've got leftovers. It's just the two of us. We don't have any kids or anything. So generally I can stretch a meal over a 2-day period and then not have to cook again for a bit, which is nice. I like cooking, but honestly, it's not even the cooking that's the problem, it's the coming up with something to cook, which gets tiresome. How many times did we get? We only got 4 dimes? That seems wrong, but I guess that's probably right. This isn't a fortune pick after all, it's just efficiency on breaking. I haven't gotten a fortune one yet. I didn't have enough diamonds to really spend a lot of time doing picks, but yeah, so do some cooking, you know, then my wife will get home. Sometimes she goes to the gym, things like that. So I'm usually, you know, I have some time in the evenings that I can work with doing content stuff. So I'll usually do that, get some stuff uploaded or edited at the very least if I don't have time to record something, and you know, do all the thumbnails, you know, whatever, all that goes into that sort of thing. And she gets home and you know, hanging out with the dog, hanging out with the wife. Well, normally, you know, once we've eaten dinner and she's, you know, she likes to shower in the evenings, so she'll shower and then we'll watch a show or, you know, do something together. We'll go out or, I mean, obviously we have different things that go on, you know, throughout the week. We've got our small group that we do one night a week and lots of other stuff too. But, you know, on the general, just basic, you know, vanilla evening, you know, we'll probably end up watching a show, or if it's early enough in the evening, we'll watch a movie or, you know, something like that, or we'll just read. A lot of times we just read if we both are in the middle of a good book and we'd rather just, you know, sit there on the couch together and read our books or whatever. We do that, or, you know, so yeah, pretty boring and vanilla. Like I said, I mean, my life isn't that exciting. We generally are homebodies a lot. We, you know, do stuff around here, or, you know, we've just got a house it's been about a year now. So a lot of times we got stuff to do around here. We gotta do laundry, or we gotta clean, or we gotta, you know, whatever. And so, you know, a lot of our time is spent doing some of that stuff, and especially now that we've got the dog, we spend a lot of time taking care of the dog and all that. So, okay, yeah, I do have arrows. Great. But yeah, so that's pretty much a day in the life of Tortimer. Not super exciting, so I apologize. But yeah, that's kind of, again, why the draw my life thing is I'm kind of a homebody. In real life, I'm very much an introvert. And so I've got close friends and things like that. But at this point, like all my friends from like college and my close, like, I moved to where we currently live my junior year of high school, and so I met a couple people, those couple years in high school, and then we all ended up going to the same college, just kind of coincidentally. And then we would be spend at school, and I lived with several of these guys, and so I'm pretty good friends with these guys, and so, you know, but now we're all scattered around the world. Some of them are, they went on, are doctors or got a friend who works at Amazon. He's a programmer, things like that. But we're all scattered around the country, but we still want to hang out. And so, we'll, kind of the same as what I do with like my YouTube friends and stuff now. We, jump into a call and we play some games on Steam or something like that. So, and we've got some real life, in town friends too that we do our small group with and everything like that. But it's different, and so we've got family scattered around and friends scattered around. So, most nights, yeah, we probably are found at home, which is fine with me. I can go out and do something, or I can just hang out at home. It just doesn't really matter to me so much. But so we end up chilling a lot, which it works out pretty nicely. But yeah. So that's a day in the life of Tortimer, which is probably why the Draw Me thing wouldn't work out too well. I've kind of always been a bit of a homebody, so I haven't really had the most I've had a great life, and we've done a lot of exciting things, but I think in general, I must have dumped those eggs I had picked up previously. In general, I just don't think it would work out. But yeah, this episode's longer than I would have anticipated anyway. Man, I get going. So I apologize for that. I hope you guys are enjoying the Q&A. There's one more segment, which should be the shortest yet. That we'll be doing coming out here soon. I think I'm going to be doing some Pokemon Showdown battles during that one because it's more gaming related and things like that. Really, I don't have anywhere else that I really need a ton of resource gathering, and I don't want to spend like multiple episodes in a mine I could go in my dinosaur world and gather resources, but I think that'd be boring for you guys. So I'm going to do some Pokemon Showdown battles next time, and there's a lot fewer questions for the next category, which will be gaming and other random assorted ones. We'll be doing that in that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you guys so much for the support that has gotten us to this point where we're having to do these, really long Q&As. And the fact that there were so many questions that you guys submitted for this Q&A is kind of astounding to me, how much support we're getting there. So I thank you guys so much. And I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure to check back for the next segment. If you guys didn't watch the first segment, I probably, as I'm thinking about it, will definitely be splitting that up into 2 segments, just so you can watch it in shorter sittings, because that one ended up being an hour long. I may even cut up this one. I guess we'll see. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Tortimer the Great. You guys have been great. Make sure to do those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I'll see you all back here next time. Have a good one.